Yes, Bugle. Nice track there. So let's get to the stories that have been trending this week. It's time for the trending topics.
All right, guys, first up, Chief Richard Curry is rejecting claims that he is running a compound like a dictator amid growing tension over his leadership of the historic Maroon village in the hills of St. Elizabeth. A mere 9 months after his election, the accusations were made after a resident complained of being stabbed and gun-butted by one of Curry's security men as they shut down a party in the town last weekend, allegedly on orders from Curry. So,
yeah,
you know, what you're hearing right now, and I'm trying, I always, in situations like this, you're hearing from two parties, you can't really start to give opinions loosely. You know what I mean? You can hear the experience of this member of the community. You can also hear from the chief as to what his strategy is in trying to bring order to the space and what the requirements are for events to happen. And anybody at all who wants growth and any kind of structure to their community, to the state, will be implementing some law and order.
And some form of measures and boundaries that you have to work within and abide by. So, I mean, let's...
So what I'm very interested to hear is what will come out of the investigations, because I believe a mediator should be there to you know, kind of find some resolve or understanding.
Get a solution and a middle ground to see how they can actually move forward.
Because we're hearing several different reports coming in. So
I mean,
I'm hoping they will resolve it.
And then, you know, of course, with I'd say the power and the effects of social media now, where...
Headlines. We just want headlines.
You don't really know what happened. You don't know what's there. And
we don't care. We just want the headlines.
Yeah, man.
And so you're showing up for real.
Yeah, man.
I mean, I have a feeling for the inside.
Short.
Yeah, man, the spirit, they are telling me that's so I go for real. We don't even know the facts.
Yeah, I mean, I guess we'll see what comes out of it and how they can move forward, especially with situations like this in the future. Yeah,
and he's a young leader, so I can understand, you know, that this is a very new experience for him and a very new experience for the community as well. To be given guidelines and structure.
Definitely. Definitely. All right, moving right along. A female administrator at the Excelsior Community College in St. Andrew is now in hospital after being shot on campus earlier this week. The police say sometime after 3 o'clock, the administrator was called from her office by a man who came onto the compound. She was talking with him outside of her office when the man pulled a weapon and opened fire, hitting her multiple times. Oh, Lord, where to begin? Where to begin, you know? I think let's start with the fact that, one, she was called out of her office. Two, she was standing and having a conversation with this man.
So it's somebody that you know.
She's familiar with, you know? But I was reading up on it and I realized that they said, of course, you know, investigations are ongoing, but as it stands right now, she's in hospital, I guess, just recovering, you know, and I guess probably after having some form of conversation with her, through investigations, then, you know, the police will actually ask, you know, a certain amount of questions, you know, to get to the bottom of it, to see what could have caused this at that time during the day. I mean, 3 o'clock broad daylight.
Yeah, it's a very presumptuous. It cannot get more presumptuous.
Broad daylight, sun out, you know, sun hot,
very intentional, very presumptuous. And
sun is quite hot.
My thing as well is, I mean, we have to look at strengthening security all around, especially on in spaces like that. That's so access. Exactly. You know, so if he committed that action, he should not have been able to get away so quickly and easily. So, yeah.
So, you know, it's a cause for concern, but let's see what comes out of that.
I'm wishing her, you know, full recovery.
Definitely.
I can understand that she's going to have to get past this. You know, it's going to take some time. Definitely. All right, guys, in more trending topics, St. James Central Member of Parliament, Huroy Clark, says he intends to bring to Parliament a motion calling for DNA paternity testing at birth. Making his contribution to the state of the constituency debates in Parliament on Tuesday, Clark cited a study by university researcher Dr. Herbert Gale claiming that paternal issues contribute to Jamaica's high rate of domestic violence that leads to murders. The legislator did not detail the proposal for paternity test at birth or indicate when he will table the motion, but said there was merit in the early determination of fatherhood.
Yeah. Do you want to start? I don't think I agree with what he said, where he's saying there is merit to knowing, etc., at birth, etc. But linking it back to domestic violence.
That's stretch, honey. You're reaching.
May I say, wait, hold on.
In my opinion, you're reaching because there are several contributing factors
That's what I was saying
to domestic
too.
violence. There are men who have grown up in homes,
Definitely.
so you know, say, me get my father knows.
Yeah, man.
And me have to give him, blood work has been done before, and I'm a father.
Yeah, man.
But this person went on to be in a situation that has resulted in domestic violence. Had nothing at all to do with the fact that, you know, me know my father for sure, or didn't know my father for sure.
Or there are some situations where women feel as though, sad to say, if a man don't like them don't love them. You know, you have situations like that too, you know, where women look on it like that too.
I am not
and you're wondering,
entirely...
you're sure? But it happens. You know, it really happens. And then you're saying, but, and then you look at it from another perspective to say, well, I don't know about this specific issue contributing to domestic violence. Maybe it has contributed somewhat, but there are other underlying issues that definitely contribute to that.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So,
and I mean, the conversation now comes up, and the conversation is happening without the mention of saying he's linking it back to domestic violence alone. It's just the idea of paternity testing at birth. And there's an uproar about that, about, you know, how people will feel about it. I'm not entirely opposed to it because I do understand the implications of not growing up knowing who your real father is. And it's larger than any one case, you know, or any one spin-off situation. So I'm not opposed to it.
Right, definitely.
You know what I mean?
Definitely.
Because it means greater implications down the line when you're older and somebody else going to tell you, say, you know, somebody have something to tell you from a long time, so your father not really your father. You know?
True.
Anyways.
Yeah, all right. Next up. So as of January 2022, the government will begin the process of filing civil suits against the families of people who are deemed to have abandoned their relatives in health facilities. Minister of Health and Wellness, Dr. Christopher Tufton, gave the warning as he noted that there are currently 174 of these social cases in hospitals across the country. Now, social cases refer to patients who have been released but remain in hospital because they have nowhere else to go as their families have abandoned them. There are instances where these people have remained in hospital for up to 7 years, Tufton revealed as well. 7 years, that's a long time. But, you know, they're saying based on their circumstances, whether financially, whether whatever it is, you know, relationship with family members as well, they really just don't have anywhere else to go. So I think that they're going to actually start by having the conversation with the family member, or a conversation with the family member, to see what the situation really is and see if they can actually have some form of resolve, you know, so that they don't have persons who really don't need to be admitted and staying at these health facilities, taking up space that we don't even already have, to just be able to find somewhere to go. You know, and then that goes back to, I mean, that is linking also to homes and homes for homeless persons.
Tell her if you can find these families, because after they're done, leave them in a emergency A&E.
Out. Change the number.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
When I heard this story, it really broke my heart because having a family member inside any health facility gives me anxiety.
Yeah, man.
So I want to make sure they're okay.
Yeah,
I want to be there. I want to make sure you're eating, what kind of food you're eating. And I understand it may not be the situation for everybody, but if this is, I was going to say, if it's a family member, you're supposed to have some care for them, but that's not oftentimes the situation.
No, that's not always the case.
Let me not even say that.
Yeah.
Right? Sometimes some people just do the bare minimum of just making sure that you get health attention. But we'll see how it progresses. I hope they can find the family members.
Yeah, man, and come to some form of solution, right?
All right, guys. So a Jamaican-born United States educator, Keisha Thorpe, has won the 2021 Global Teacher Prize of US $1 million by the Varkey Foundation. Some 8,000 teachers from 121 countries applied for the prize, and Thorpe was announced as the winner by the foundation on Wednesday. The annual prize is given by the foundation to a teacher who has made an outstanding contribution in the field of education. Thorpe is a 12th grade English teacher at the International School at Langley Park in Prince George County, Maryland. So congratulations to you. That's
definitely
awesome.
Great, definitely great. I see where they said that so in addition to doing all that, she helps students get financial aid to go to college, you know, just a lot of things. And it says that she redesigned the 12th grade English curriculum to make it culturally relevant to her students who are first-generation Americans, immigrants, or refugees.
That's so
as well,
nice.
right? And she assisted students who apply for college with scholarship, helping them to win more than $6.7 million US.
That's amazing.
In scholarships, that's great.
That's her taking the time out to understand the human aspect of her students, you know, and meeting them where they are. So that's great.
Definitely awesome.
Kudos to you.
But that's it for our trending topics.